This is the full review of the Kershaw Shuffle 2. It retails for $29.99. It typically retails on the street though for a street price of around $20. It has a manual opening with a thumb stud on both sides, so it has dual thumb studs. A nested liner lock. The steel is a 8CR13 MOV. It has a multifunctional features on the rear side of the handle, a bottle opener, screwdriver, and lanyard hole. Reversible tip down pocket clip. It has a tanto blade. The blade itself is a hollow ground, plain edge, black wash finish, and it's a type of acid stone wash. The nested liners in the actual handles are non-hollowed, but it does give you additional strength, but adds a little bit of weight to the knife. It does have a back spacer right here on the rear, and the handle scales are glass-filled nylon. Kershaw, kind of makes reference to them as GFN. It's very similar, if not the same thing, as GRN, glass-reinforced nylon. These nylon scales are sculpted in pattern. The next thing would be the blade length here. It's going to be coming out right at 2.6 inches. The close length is going to be right at 4 inches. The overall length is going to be at 6.3 inches. The weight is right at 3 ounces. And we have the cutting edge at 2.3 inches. The blade thickness is a 0.10 of an inch. And this is a pretty ideal EDC blade. I'm just going to roll in some different comparisons for size. So we can see we have some match boxes here. Just for size, these are just the standard here. Diamond strike-on box matches, 32 counts. And it's about almost the same height of the knife and everything. So you can kind of get a just different feel of the size of that knife. This is the Kershaw Shuffle 2 next to the Spyderco Tenacious. Just for size comparison. Much smaller. Next we have the Bird line from Spyderco. This is the Meadowlark 2 compared to the Shuffle 2. Next is going to be the Gerber pair frames, the small and the standard size. A very popular knife choice compared to the Shuffle 2. Next here we have the Victorinox Cadet on the bottom. And right above the Shuffle 2 we have a Spyderco Delica 4 and a Spyderco Delica 4 with the Emerson Wave in comparison. Here's the comparison with the Shuffle 2 and the K-Bar Dozer Hunter model. It is interesting to note the handle colors on the K-Bar on the bottom. It's what they would call their tan. To me personally, it's more true to tan. You can definitely tell that the Shuffle is much more of a coyote brown in comparison. In conclusion though, I like to say that the Kershaw Shuffle 2 is a very excellent value, a very well made knife. It exceeded my expectations. It actually fits my large hands very well, and you can see it's very thin in profile. On the presentation side here, as you will see, on the Ricasso, it has Kershaw on there. I believe it could be some type of laser engraving, I believe. On the rear side, it has written on there the model number, 8CR13 MOV, and made in China, with the maker's mark there of Kershaw. You can see right here this little indentation here. This is the indent for the ball bearing that actually is on the liner lock. So that just is the mechanism that actually keeps the blade closed, and it does a very good job. It's sometimes referred to as a detent. So that's the detent hole for the ball bearing. It is very sharp. It was very impressive. I would highly recommend this knife if you're into this kind of thing. A very compact but very useful blade. And this is one of my very few tanto, some people call it tanto blades, and I would highly recommend this. I'm not a real big fan overall of the blade's you know, shape and configuration for most blades, but for this knife it works very well. It just has a slight curve to the handle, as you can see, and the blade actually comes around just a little bit too, but it actually just fits the hand just right. You can pull back and use this secondary choil. It does have an actual choil here on the blade, so this would actually be your second choil officially, and this would be your third. But for all intents purposes, we're just going to say this is your 1 and 2. You can pull back like this and not go on your blade choil, and you can still basically barely get a full grip. And so this is very cool. Stay tuned though. I'm going to have another video talking about unconventional uses for the tools here and the design of the Shuffle 2. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review.